Today I'm gonna show you why styling is such an important part of the home selling process. But first, listen to this.
Thank you, Alejandro. Before we dive into styling, there's one concept you must have very clear in order to get the best out of a room or space, and that's a sense of scale. Sense of scale gives the viewer a point of reference from which he or she can understand how big or small everything else is in the photo. It's an extremely important principle that applies not only to real estate or architectural photography, but to the visual arts as a whole. Photography is a two-dimensional medium. So for the brain, it's extremely important to have a reference in order to determine the size of the items. For example, your living room. So that's the reason why a small or insufficient furniture can make a room look big, or big furniture, doesn't matter how expensive or fancy it is, can make a room look tiny.
Now that you understand what sense of scale is, let's have a look at 3 apartments. Same square meters, same light, and so on. One is empty, the other one is overfurnished, and the other one is styled. First, an empty apartment. Right away, your brain is working extra hard to determine the size of what you're seeing. Since there is no point of reference, you have no idea if the apartment's big or small. And at the same time, you're trying to figure out, will my furniture will fit in here? How I'm gonna live in this space, and so on. In conclusion, you're not helping potential buyers visualize themselves in this space. Not of great help. And now let's have a look at the second apartment. This one belongs to Jens. He's in his 30s and he's a gamer. And that's why he has this massive sofa in the living room. So he can have all his buddies on Fridays and play PlayStation and have beer and so on. He's super proud of it. It's very expensive. And he has also this oversized table right next to it, so he can have tacos and have a good time while they're playing. All 20 of their friends. He loves this place and he thinks he's super proud of it. But what he doesn't know, that is ridiculous. It just looks terrible. And it's extremely hard for the photographer to get a decent picture of this space because it's so crowded. It's very hard for me to get a decent angle because it's just too much. So yeah, not a great help. Even though he's very proud and of course, according to him, everything's very expensive. And of course, most important of it all, the apartment looks very small because the furniture just takes too much space. And finally, a fully styled apartment. Actually, it's the same apartment that belongs to Jens. He just realized, well, I'm never gonna sell my place unless I style the whole thing. So he got rid of all his furniture, his beloved furniture, and put it on the internet and sold everything. And the stylist brought the furniture to match the size of his apartment. This is an extremely important concept because it doesn't matter how expensive or cheap sometimes the furniture is, as long as it matches the size of your apartment. Now the apartment looks great and thankfully it got sold. Of course, this is an example, but I see this every day in my line of work, literally every day. So please remember that doesn't matter how expensive your furniture is, but how big or small your things are in relation to your space. And going back to the empty apartment example, well, sometimes people do not have the time or the budget to pay for a professional stylist, and that's completely understandable. But for those people, there's a solution as well. Virtual styling. For a fraction of the price, you can help your potential buyers visualize themselves in your property. Again, for a fraction of the price. And you might say, well, it's not the same thing. Well, it does the job because it helps people visualize themselves in the apartment. It helps them have sense of scale of the property. So you can see how big or small the property is. It's really of great help. And it's something that we use constantly. So what is virtual styling? Well, as the name implies, it's furniture that is not there, furniture that is placed digitally in your apartment. So that is, we take the pictures first and then digitally we put the furniture in your property. It's really outstanding, the quality that you get nowadays with this fancy software. Take a look at these pictures, for example. Empty, style. Empty, styled. These are all pictures that were virtual styled. And really, you couldn't tell. It's quite amazing, huh? So to recap, 1, never sell an empty apartment. 2, Home styling is all about visualization. 3. Do not confuse home styling with interior design. And 4, but not least, expensive furniture won't help sell your property. Hope you have enjoyed this episode about styling, and please join us for the next one, where we're gonna be shooting one of Norway's most controversial buildings. Until then, please take care.